I have a question about, you mentioned the staff time and the effort that's gone into developing this new program. Given all the problems with the employment department and those existing issues, why not devote your staff's time to trying to remedy those problems instead of building a new program on top of it?
Claire, that's a really good question. Every legislative staffer in every office has been continuing to work on unemployment benefits in terms of helping constituents understand the process, communicate with the department on their behalf to try to, get questions answered. None of that has stopped. My office is up over 1,000 cases that we are communicating with the department on. So none of that has stopped. And we have kept the employment department completely out of this conversation for the purpose of letting them focus on getting benefits processed and moved ahead. And they are making progress. In the meantime, we've devoted this complementary project through other resources working with DAS. The legislative branch itself has been helpful trying to figure out the information technology role that's needed here. We have a database now that will keep people from going from one bank to another bank to get a check. Well, you get one check, we'll be able to monitor that. So there's been a lot of team effort, and we're keeping the employment department away from this so they can focus on unemployment. But believe me, everyone is still trying to help people get their unemployment benefits.
Well, in ordinary time, not to take a phrase that's biblical, you probably would do that. But this is not ordinary time. This program is not to in any way be negative towards the employment department. We played a role in adding hundreds of employees in the employment department. We passed bills just recently involving the employment department. So we're doing what we've been asked to do, or as much as what they were asking us to do. Now, we had a struggle with one bill that didn't make it, but we are literally doing those kinds of things where the employment department comes to us and asks us to help. But we just had reached the conclusion that given the magnitude of the demand, it was overwhelming us. It was the tidal wave. It was overwhelming us. And so we also, when you get some of the stories that we could tell you about people when they call into our offices, it just breaks your heart. So we moved. We did it. And this is no attempt to scuttle or second guess the employment department at all. And but we're in emergency times, and emergency times requires action now. And that's a big department. This program, I mean, it's the private sector, the public sector, and what better partnership when you got a crisis in your hand? If those sectors are working together, they can do anything, I believe. They can solve any problems and do anything. So this is not meant to be negative about the employment department. This is not meant to say this, that, and the other thing. We wanted to move boldly. We chose to do it this way. We still are willing to, through legislation or whatever chance to help the employment department. But the $600 thing just ran out in the federal government. So we didn't even plan it that way. But here we are coming in right in with $500. It's not $600. So I'm not sure that answers your question satisfactorily, but it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that.
Well, and I want to follow up with that on the $600. I'm glad the Senate president raised that. 4.5 weeks ago, when we approved the money for this program, people were still getting the $600 a week in additional federal unemployment benefits, people who were getting their benefits. Well, that has gone away. The federal government has faltered. There's no additional dollars on top of the regular unemployment coming through. More people are getting pandemic unemployment assistance, but we still have a huge backlog. So everything has to help, and that's what the purpose of this program